Good evening, Rov.
Hi, good evening, Rob.
Good evening, everyone. How's it? How are you?
Oh, fine, thank you, Rov. Thank you.
Is everyone well?
Good evening.
All good.
Who's with us? First of all, I see Marky. Marky, shalom aleichem. I can see you. I can see Lev, Dr. Les with us. Who's else with us? I see John with us. I see Adrian with us. Karen with us. I see Ronald with us. I see Sean with us. Who else with us? Stephen
Lionel.
Fisher, thank you. Lionel, how are you?
Baruch Hashem, and you, Rabbi, and your family.
Thank you. When I hear your voice, it's making me very happy.
That's Lionel Paga.
Oh, yes, that's him. That's him.
That's Dr. Lionel Pogo. And I see Stephen with us. Hello, Stephen.
No,
How are you? Okay, so first of all, thank you. I think that first of all, let's get the news from Eretz Israel, from our friend Dr. Liz.
Okay, so
And I'm going to mute everyone just to have, because there's a lot of noise in the background. I'm muting everyone so everyone can enjoy the show. So Dr. Les, unmute yourself and please give us the news from Eretz Israel. Bechavod.
there's amazing news. You know, Rob, you once gave a talk on Soli Ganor with Sugi Hora. So
Nachon.
tomorrow, Bizrat Hashem, they're going to be naming a square in Ir Ganim after the father in Jerusalem, but the mayor and the son, Nabuki, was supposed to be the guest of honor, but he didn't get a visa to come into the country. So it was major news. How can Israel not give the son of the diplomat who gave 6,000 visas that saved so many thousands and thousands of Yidden all over the world, and Israel government isn't giving the son a visa? So they had a bit of chokhmah, and they decided, you know what, we're going to make an exception, and they actually gave him the visa. And he actually sent me the visa. I'm in touch with Nabuki, and he's going to be there tomorrow. So I'm going to be videoing the event. It's going to be phenomenal. Survivors of those people that got this piece of paper, the visa, are going to be there as well. So it's going to be a phenomenal event.
And tell me something, what time are you going to do that video?
It's 3:45 tomorrow. And the mayor of Yerushalayim is going to be there. Survivors who got the visas from Sugi Hora's father is going to be there. It's going to be a very, very special evening.
So if you don't mind, when you're there, when you speak to the son of Sugihara, if you don't mind.
If I can.
Okay. If you don't mind, if you can call me on WhatsApp, and then you prepare him, obviously, that we made a show about him, and we can send him the link maybe. Maybe one day we'll do again the show and we'll invite him to join us.
He's, you know, who knows him very well is Rabbi Goldman, but he's very busy. He was invited to a conference with Jerusalem Post. So he said he's got other engagements. I don't know what will be that night. He's going to.
No, not that night. We'll make another arrangement.
Okay.
We'll make another arrangement.
Hopefully I'll even get to, but he knows me well, so hopefully we'll get to speak with him. It's not going to be easy, but we'll do what we can. But I'm going to be videoing the event. It's going to be very special.
I'll wait for that call to join us on Zoom. Thank you very much.
Maybe I'll show you guys live. Maybe I'll show you guys live on Zoom, the event.
Okay, do that and we'll look at it. Yeah.
Wonderful.
And I'll see who's joining and I'll put it.
Wonderful.
Yeah, definitely. Be'ezrat Hashem.
Culture.
Okay.
We look forward to this year.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to mute everyone. I just want to mute everyone. Oops, where am I going? I'm not going to the right place, but I'm admit one more person I see here, and I'm muting everyone. Everyone is muted. Okay, so Shavua Tov, everyone. As I mentioned, as I sent the message in the last minute, it was my apology. I forgot to send the subject of the show, the wonders of the creation. And I'm going to link it to one we learn in Parashat Bereshit, what we learn, everything in Parashat Bereshit and Parashat Noah. We tried to put it together, so we'll have some idea about the Parsha and the beautiful wonders of the creation. But before, I would like to dedicate the show in the name of Esther Kaden Bat Ketia, Mordechai ben Rahma, Harav Avraham Haim ben Eliezer Yaakov, תמר בת זהבה, רחל בת מלכה סולטנה, יעקב סלומון בן פרחה, דבורה רות בת בילה, וחיים אליהו בן ישעיהו. Please God, that the shiur will lift up their soul to the proper place in heaven. And also to dedicate the shiur to those that need the mercy of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, speedily recover, Liora bat Miriam, Menashe Najib ben Farha, Orna Bluma bat Miriam, Rav Avraham ben Marina, Harav Shlomo Yehuda ben Dalia, Rav Moshe ben Devorah, Eitan ben Adasa, Israel ben Zisa, Mordechai David ben Leah, Yosef ben Rachel, Dvorah bat Esther, Sarah Dvorah bat Elka, Tzadok ben Sarah, Shulamit bat Haya Sheina, Leah, ודוד יצחק בן חווה לאה יהודית. Please God, רפואה שלמה to them and to all of those that need health all over the world, all the Jewish people. בעזרת השם נעשה ונצליח, והשם עלינו ברחמיו ירוויח. So we said the subject of the shiur is the wonders of the creation. David HaMelech says something very interesting in the book of Tehillim. David HaMelech says like this. In chapter 104, verse 24, David HaMelech said like this. I'll read it in Hebrew and then I will translate it to English. David HaMelech said like this. Ma rabu ma'asecha Elokim, kulam b'chokhmah asita. What does it mean? How many are your work, Hashem, that you made all of them in wisdom? And B'ezrat Hashem will try to see what David HaMelech tried to tell us here. What is David HaMelech referring to the wisdom that HaKadosh Baruch Hu to all of his work? To all of his work, referring to the creation. Let's start with Sefer Bereshit that we read just last week. In Sefer Bereshit, in chapter 1, in verse 9, the Torah tells us like this. Vayomer Elokim, yikavu hamayim mitachat hashamayim el makom echad v'tiraya yabasha v'yichel. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when he created the world, what's the first thing, one of the first things that he did? He said, number one, all the water that there is in the world, that was, because it was tohu vavohu. What is tohu vavohu? No one can really explain, maybe the mystical Rabbi, but we don't understand. And all the water that there is under the earth and above the earth will come to one place. That means here HaKadosh Baruch Hu split the water, and there is water in heaven, there is water on earth, but the most important, Vatiraya Basha, and the land showed, Vayichen, and that's what happened. That's the simple word by word that I tried to translate what the Torah tells us. But if we look at that, we have to understand what's happening here. So we have to use Rashi HaKadosh, Rabbi Shlomo Yitzhaki. Rabbi Shlomo Yitzhaki explained to us that what the Torah tells us here, that there is one big sea that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created, and he called it the ocean. Plus the earth that we know, Batiraya Yabasha. That means it was one continent and one ocean. And immediately all of you are going to jump and say, we know that there is more than one ocean. There is more than one continent. Every person today knows that there is 7 continents. It's not a secret. So what's happening here? What is the Torah telling us? And how does it fit? So B'ezrat Hashem, today we bring what Hazal said in the Zohar 2,500 years ago, and then I bring what the geologist Alfred Luther, that lived around 100 years ago, even a little bit more, how he explained it. And we're going to give it even the scientific name for it. So B'ezrat Hashem, na'aseh v'nachliach. So to understand that, we have to go to the Zohar HaKadosh. The Zohar HaKadosh, on chapter 12, page 12, let's call it, verse 1, there it's like this. Tana, Aretz Ahad, that means one land. I'm translating Aramaic to Hebrew, to English. Tana, Eretz Ahad. It means it was one land. Mamash, real one land. Hotziu hamayim וממנה נהבו 7 יבשות. The water came and created 7 continents. That's what the Zohar tell us around 2,500 years ago. We have to understand. Chazal explained that until the time of the flood, really was one land and one ocean, like Rashi say and like the Torah say. After the flood, the earth got split into 7 continents and different oceans. And there is what we call the continental drift, like as all of you know. The geologist Alfred Luther wrote in his book, the name of his book, it's The Origin of the Continent and the Ocean, that he wrote it around over 100 years ago. There he explained the reason how is the 7 continents been created and many other ocean, not only one. Say Alfred Luther like this, listen to that. According to him, it was a great, enormous earthquake, and the earth actually got splitted, and he needed what happened. He to explain that, he needed to explain that it was a great earthquake, and that's what caused the splitting of the earth to 7 continents, and between them, that's where all the water from the one ocean that split to different oceans. And that's what we call, he given it, everyone knows the scientific name, continental drift. Say Alfred Luther, to prove it, he said like this: if you look at the rock, the vegetation that there is, and the type of soil that there is on both sides of the ocean, that means if you take the ocean in the middle, on one side and on the other side of the ocean, if you look carefully, you will find that it's the same vegetation. The same vegetation that was here, that is on the other side. Not only that, the same kind of rocks, and etc. So if we look today, we see that there is no contradiction. The only contradiction that there is, that according to Alfred Luther, it was a tremendous earthquake that caused it, because he doesn't know that it was a flood, as the Torah tells us in Parashat Noah, that was the flood, and that's what caused it. And that's what the Zohar HaKadosh revealed to us already 2,500 years ago. So from here we see what we explaining, number one, how it was one land and one ocean, as the Torah tells us. And Rashi explained in his commentary, how did they be created to 7 different continents and different so many oceans instead of one? We can explain now simply because the flood, when the flood came into the earth, it's actually split the earth and the water penetrating and become different oceans. Let's move on. HaKadosh Baruch Hu created in a creation after that the trees and the fruit. As you all know, that every fruit at the beginning of its growing, you have one color, green. Did we ever ask ourselves, why is the fruit doesn't, let's say orange, when it starts, it's green? Why doesn't get at the beginning of its growing, when it starts to grow, that beautiful fruit, not orange? Or any other kind of fruit or vegetable. Let's take apple. When you see the apple at the beginning, we know that it's green. Later on, we have the green color, that is final, or red, or some of them become more yellowish and reddish, all different. So we see from here that something very interesting that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created even in a fruit, and we have to understand why. So many of the mefarshim and many of the scientists got to one simple conclusion. They got to the conclusion that the main reason for it, that because it's Akadosh Baruch Hu giving us here indication to tell us when is the fruit ready to be eaten and when the fruit is not ready to be eaten. What does it mean? When we see at the beginning that the fruit is green like any other thing, it's to tell us that it's not yet ready to be eaten. When it's get its final color, whatever is it, orange, red, yellow, whatever color of the fruit is, it's to come to tell us that means your fruit is ready and now you can enjoy it and you can eat it. Another idea that I heard, and that's a beautiful idea, it's come to tell us, if you look at that, in that case, there's another shaila. Why is all not the fruit, for example, when they're finished to be ready, they're all red or they're all yellow or they're all green, whatever you want to call it, whatever color there is on a fruit. The scientists explain something very important, and Hazal explained, that if there was all one color, a person will get bored from all the fruit at the same color, and he wouldn't eat enough from all the different kind of fruit, and he will never get enough vitamin and nutrition that he need. That means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu had mercy when he created the fruit, and he said that each fruit will have a different color. Why? When a person see all different color, it's given the appetite to try to taste all the different fruit. By that he tried to eat different fruit, it will give him the nutrition that he need, the vitamin that he need. Now we can understand a little bit what David HaMelech spoke about. Let's continue. Let's speak about the pips and the seed that there is inside the fruit. So let's start with the hard pips that there is. If you look, there's certain fruit, for example, what we call it in Hebrew, we call it afarsek, you call it afarsek, I forgot. Mishmesh is...
it's a peach, a peach.
A peach, and mishmesh, it's...
apricot.
Apricot, that's it. If we take these two fruit, we'll see that the peach and the apricot, they have a very hard pips. Inside that pips, there is a seed that's very soft. Hazal explained what's happening here. If you look carefully, Hazal said, you'll have two kind of fruit. There is fruit only with one pips, and there's fruit with different seeds, more than one seeds. For example, if we take the apricot, one pips. Apple have many seeds, orange have many seeds, and etc. If you look at the guava, many seeds. What's the difference between them? Listen how Hazal explained that, and how HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when he created even the fruit, what he thought, to what depths. Hazal explained, if you take the fruit with the one pips, HaKadosh Baruch Hu made that fruit that it will have a very hard pips, that even if you bite it, nothing going to happen to the seed inside the pips. Why? So it can reproduce himself. He said, but if you take an apple or you take an orange, you have many seeds. So when you bite the apple, sometimes happen, or the orange, that you bite the seed. So you damage one or two seeds. But because there is so many seeds inside, so you damage few, but many of them still good, and they can reproduce themselves if we replant them. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when he created the fruit, he didn't worry only about the color. HaKadosh Baruch Hu also worried that how they're going to reproduce himself. So from here we see that means those pips inside the apple. I'm not talking today about genetic what you call it, fruit modification. That's I'm not talking about. I'm talking about real fruit that have taste, that you can taste them, that you can enjoy them. That means that if you taste the apple and you damage 3, 4 seeds, 10 seeds, whatever the case is, you still have other seeds that the tree apple can reproduce himself. On a fruit that there is only one hard purpose, the seed is inside, that even if you bite it, you wouldn't damage the seed. Why? Because when you break it, the shell, you take the seed from inside and you can reproduce from it a different tree. That means HaKadosh Baruch Hu already, with his merciful and compassion on the human being, created a different kind of fruit. And why is it? To teach us all of that. That to produce, if there is many seeds, it's not a problem, because you'll have many seeds that even if you damage few of them, there's many that you can still replant. Those that hard, that you never damage that seed, that you're not going to destroy the future of that tree. Now we spoke about the fruit. Let's move on to the body, the human body. We know that in a human body, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, for example, given every human being 2 eyes. Some of those that don't have 2 eyes. What can we do? But in general, every person has 2 eyes. Did you ever ask yourself why dafka 2 eyes? Sorry. Chazal explained that the main reason for it, it's what we call it in English, 3-dimension vision. That a person can have 3-dimension vision, and I will explain. That means that the person can see depths, height, okay, and width. When you have 2 eyes, it's easier to have the 3-dimension vision. Imagine that the person has 6 eyes all over his head. He wouldn't know where to start, where to go front, to go back. All day would worry what there is behind, what there is on the side. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when he created human being, everything with wisdom. He given you dafka 2 and not 1, that the person can work out the width, the depth, and the height of everything. That means that everything being designed to the last beautiful creator. Not only that, I'm sure that you all know, but I would like to share it with you. Every eye has 7 million color, listen to that, 7 million color sensor in the eye. While black and white, we have 127 million. That means we have in every eye, 7 million color sensors for during the day. For at night, we have 127 million sensors, black and white. Why? The Mefarshim explain, and today many of the scientists starting to get to that HaKadosh Baruch Hu given us more senses of black and white that at darkness we can see, that we can see better at darkness. That those 127 million black and white sensors to help us to sense at night, to see better. If that's not enough, let's move to the position of the nose and the mouth. Did we ever ask ourselves, why is the nose above the mouth? So in a simple thing, HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the nose above the mouth, that when you want to eat something, it's the smell. You're first going to smell the food that you're going to eat, and that will help you to decide if the food is good or is bad. That means, is the food is rotten? If you smell rotten, you wouldn't eat it. But if you didn't have, imagine that you have the mouth on top and the nose at the bottom, person can eat rotten food. The eyebrow that we have here, why dafka the eyebrow here? The Mefarshim explained that the main reason for it is that when a person sweats, that sweat is poison and it can blind the person. If we didn't have the hair that's growing above the eye, right? The poison can get into the eyes and blind the person. Look how much HaKadosh Baruch Hu thought about everything. The nervous system that everyone has in his body. HaKadosh Baruch Hu created every human being with nervous system. Not only that, this nervous system, it's for one of the many ideas. One of them, that imagine that a person never have a nervous system in his body. He wouldn't have any nervous. What would happen? He would touch something that hot, that he wouldn't see. For example, there is sometimes charcoal that because it's become so burnt, it's become black and you don't see the red, a person can hold it and he wouldn't feel that his hand actually starting to melt. HaKadosh Baruch Hu have mercy on us and thought to the little point for us to understand everything, that he given us the nervous system, that the person will have a nervous system so he wouldn't touch something hot and he can get burned. I'll give an example for the hand. There's many others with hot water, with whatever. That's just to understand the idea until where HaKadosh Baruch Hu have his depths for. We have the immune system. As you all know, and there's doctor here, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the blood cell, he created like this. He created the red blood cell and the white blood cell. The red blood cell, Hazal explained to us, listen to that, it's to divide the oxygen into the body properly. The white cell, it's what we call the ambulance, the medical aid in the body. If there is a cut or strange object penetrate the body, you see like thousands of white blood cells running to that place. Why? That they're running to give immediately a medical aid. That means that they try to stop the infection and to fight against the exterior intruder that penetrate into the body. For example, for us, just to a little bit to understand what's happening here. Lo aleinu velo al af echad me'am Yisrael, please God, when there is a disaster, what's happened? We see that if there is an accident, you see many ambulances driving to the place that was an accident. Why? To provide medical aid, to provide whatever they can help to stop the infection. The same thing, the white blood cell. HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the body that they have a sense that as intruder penetrate the body or there is a cut, all of those running to try to provide a medical aid to stop infection and any other thing that can happen, has v'shalom. That's me. HaKadosh Baruch Hu thought about every little thing, even on the body. Let's move now to the position of the sun. I'm moving now, if you look, the way that I structured the show, I structured it in a way that we start first with Earth. Now I'm going up to the heaven. Okay? It starts like this. If you look, HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the earth. He have up in the sky, we have the sun. On earth, we have earth, and then we have also water. We'll get also to the miracle of the water just now. But first, let's understand the sun. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the heaven, HaKadosh Baruch Hu put the sun in a distance from earth 150 million kilometers. Today, it's very simple to know that. Why? Because they have a special telescopic. But in older days, they didn't. But we have to understand why. Today, scientists explaining that distance, it's not for nothing. The scientists say that if the sun will be closer, Earth will be burned. Everything going to burn to Earth from the heat of the sun. You say if you move the Earth further away, the entire earth is going to froze and will turn to one ball of ice. Let's look something else. That's for the position of the sun. Did we ever ask ourselves why is Earth is round? Because today we know that Earth was today from out of space. You can see that Earth is round. In the olden days, it was different theories that the Earth standing on 3 or 5 big, huge elephant. And when you get to the end of Earth, you're just going to fall down. And when there is an earthquake, it's when the elephant sneezes, and etc. All different ideas. But today that we know that Earth is round, do we ask ourselves, why is it round? The scientists explain like this, that if you look today, the sun rays, if the Earth was square, for example, the sun ray will hit one position all the time, will hit on it until it will burn. But the Earth is round, the sun ray not only hitting it. Why? Because it's hit and it's moved. It doesn't stay on one corner. So it doesn't burn Earth. Another idea, why is it round? Because we know that on one side of Earth can be day, on the other side is night. Like for example, now in the southern hemisphere, it's night. In the northern hemisphere, we know that it's day. Why is that? Depends where you are in the northern hemisphere, obviously. Why is that? Hazal explained something extraordinary. Hazal explained, and the Zohar say, there is place, I'm translating it to English. There is place in the world that will be night, and there is place that will be earth. Why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu done it? That HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, Im lo hukotai yoman v'layla, that means if you never learn Torah day and night, 24/7, I will return the earth back to Tohu Vavohu. That means HaKadosh Baruch Hu created compassion and mercy on a human being, but that he had for certain people day, for certain people night. So certain people now in America have day, so they can learn Torah, the Jewish people, and certain people that, for example, here or in Israel, when we're sleeping and we're not studying Torah, and the other side that it's day, they're studying Torah. In lo hukotai yoman v'layla. It means if I didn't have Torah 24 hours, I will turn earth to Tohu Vavohu. Now we understand why is it round. Let's speak about the nature of the water. There is something that the scientists battling to understand. There's a law that when things get hot, they expand. When it's cold, they contract. And we have to understand that law doesn't exist inside the water. Below, wait, don't jump. I know that many of you tell me now the water actually gets ice. Yes, but when the temperature is 0 to -4 degrees, the water expand. Why? Why doesn't contract and shrink like we know when it's cold? Hazal explained to us simply that when the temperature between 0 to 4 o'clock to 4 degrees, -4 degrees, the water will expand and will never contract. That means will never turn to ice. How does it work? Hazal say, you know what the reason for it? That to explain these kind of things that can occur, very simple. You say, if you look, take the ocean, for example. The Atlantic Ocean is frozen, freezing. Why never froze? But if you look at the North Pole, the top part always frozen, little bit underneath, it's water. Hazal explained like this, that if HaKadosh Baruch Hu wouldn't create that nature in the water, the entire water will get frozen and all the sea life will die from that frozen water. Or in summer, that huge lake or huge ocean that got frozen, in summer, suddenly it will get defrost and we have another flood. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu, with his compassion and mercy, what he created, a special law, that when the water is between 0 to 4, they will continue to expand and not to shrink. That just will help you and will help us to understand what David HaMelech said. David HaMelech said, Ma rabu ma'asecha Elokim. How many are your works, Hashem, that you made them all with wisdom, and not like Stephen Hawking that came with a theory that the world created from what? From a Big Bang. If the world created from a Big Bang, how is all of those wonders that we mentioned that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created can be? How can it be that a human being that created from a Big Bang like Stephen Hawking have in his theories will have a nervous system? How come that the person have what we call the immune system, the position of the eye, the position of the nose, everything that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created with such a wisdom to the last detail? This is just a little bit for us just to understand. There's many more. We never spoke about the living animal under the sea. There is what we call a living generator under the sea. And the amount of electricity, if that generator touch you, it's the eel. If you touch his tail, every diver knows that if you touch his tail, you immediately electrocuted. Because it's the power, listen to that, it's the power that close to 10 huge generators, the power that he has in his tail. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, all the miracle that he created, we don't understand. We just take it for granted. For example, when we wake up in the morning, we see that if you wake up early, if you stand awake early in the morning, you suddenly start seeing the sunrise slowly rising. Why not one shot? Dark, light. Akol b'chokhmah asita. What does it mean? If HaKadosh Baruch Hu created immediately strong light, people can get blind. We know that the people that was in the dark places and you want to take them to light, if you take them immediately to strong light, they will get blind because the senses that they have in their eyes. So what did HaKadosh Baruch Hu, with his compassion and mercy, what does he do? The sun starts rising slowly, slowly, not one shot, to make sure that no one going to get blind. This is a little bit of the wonders of the Creator. We didn't even touch it, just to give us some idea. So Be'ezrat Hashem, now that we know a little bit what HaKadosh Baruch Hu created in the world, we can accept and appreciate when we read Sefer Bereshit to understand a little bit about the creation, a little about the flood, that the flood caused the splitting of the continent to 7 continents, too many more oceans that we have today, and it's not one ocean, as Rashi explained that what the Torah tells us. Obviously, Rashi knows that's happened, because Rashi, when he wrote his commentary on the Torah, and everyone will agree, it's Beruach HaKodesh. Rashi, before he writes his commentary on the Torah, I mentioned it numerous of times, he fasted for 365 days before he wrote a word. So Rashi tells us that it was one continent at the beginning of the creation, one ocean. And he didn't say any other word. He said ocean. He knew that it's an ocean. Why? To tell us that at the beginning of the Creator, until the flood came, was one continent, one earth, one ocean. After the flood, everything split. And today the scientists and the geologists find out that it's true. They just given it a different reason, because they never read our Holy Torah. And Baruch Hashem that they don't read our Holy Torah, because our Holy Torah is only for us. But it's just to help those that we have the greatest Torah. Afoch ba ve'afoch ba, akol ba. That means turn it. And whatever you want to find, there is inside our Torah. Any wisdom that you want to learn, there is there. You just have to have the tools and the capacity to learn and to understand our Holy Torah and what there is in our Torah. And that's the wonders of the Creator. I would like to give time now for those of you that have questions. Be'ezrat Hashem, unmute your microphone and I'll try to answer. Any question?
Hello, it's Anthony. How are you?
Shalom Aleichem, Antonio. How are you? How was your Shabbos?
Very nice, thanks. How was yours?
Yom Yom, Ma'an Olam Haba.
It says that after the bathroom, you make a brocha, Asher Yatzar. Can you explain that brocha? After the bathroom, after you've gone to the bathroom.
So yeah, what you referring to, it's Birkat Asher Yatzar et Adam Bechokhmah. That's what you're referring to.
Yes. Yes.
So the brocha
Yes.
is Asher, I'm not saying the beginning, Baruch Atah, it's like this. Asher Yatzar et Adam Bechokhmah. Ubara bo nekavim, nekavim. Halulim, halulim. What it means, nekavim, nekavim? HaKadosh Baruch Hu created in a human being certain holes. Halulim, halulim. That they're hollow. Nekavim, nekavim, halulim, halulim. Galui veyadua lefanecha. That it's well known in front of you that if one of them get blocked, or one of them get open, one of those, for example, the nose or the mouth, okay, get blocked. What it means? A person cannot survive. Why? Because he can't breathe, so you'll die. You follow? From the other way, Hazal said that you also created open holes, but you block certain things. What it means? You block certain things. That if the blood in a human being wouldn't be blocked, he will lose blood until he dies. So in this brocha, we're thanking HaKadosh Baruch Hu that, for example, we can go to the toilet. What it means going to the toilet? A person can go to the toilet, okay? Because if he couldn't, he will get blocked until whatever he doesn't release turn to poison, and a person can die. When a person doesn't go to the toilet and make big, what we go into the toilet, excuse my language, those things that we release, they're all poison. And if we wouldn't, a person will die from it. The Rambam, the big eagle, Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon, explained that a healthy person should go at least once a day to the toilet to release. Why? Because there's a lot of poison on it, and it can poison the body. Do we understand what Chachmei Israel knew? Our sages knew. So when HaKadosh Baruch Hu created a human being, he already thought about all of that. That a person will eat, a person will drink, and he'll have to release. One thing just to mention, that Hazal tell us that in a manner that HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought to those in a wilderness, when there was 40 years in a wilderness, HaKadosh Baruch Hu created a miracle with a manna. The mena, they never used to go to the toilet. They never needed to go to the toilet, those that ate the mena, to do big. They only used to do small. Why? That's the drink that you have to release. The poison that there is in a drink. But to go to do big, none of them needed. Why? Because the mena, they call it lechem ha'evarim. What it means, lechem ha'evarim? That the bread that penetrate all the organ, that nothing was poison on it, that they have to release it. So it can never cause has v'shalom poison on the body or any infection. And that's what the Erev Rav, you know what is it, the Erev Rav, the multination couldn't understand. They call it a lechem ha'kelokel. What it means, a lechem ha'kelokel? When they saw that no one going, excuse my language, to the toilet to do big, they couldn't understand that. How can it be? I'm eating, I'm not releasing. They couldn't understand it. And that's what they didn't want, the mena that was frightened. They wanted meat. They asked for meat. Halechem ha'kelokel, they called the mena. They couldn't understand that what HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought from heaven, okay, can penetrate to every vein, every muscle in the body, that you can use that to the 100% nutrition of it. Nothing was wasted on it. By the way, that's not belong to the show. The Maharsha asked, wait, I don't understand. You call it halechem, you call it the bread. So what brocha you say, listen to that, what brocha you say on the mena? Eze bracha mevarchim al haman? What brocha you say on the mena? Answer the Maharsha, listen. Hamutzi lechem min hashamayim. That. Hamutzi lechem min hashamayim. We say on the bread, hamutzi lechem min haaretz. From earth. The Maharsha say no. From heaven. Hamutzi lechem min hashamayim. That bring the bread out of the heaven. Okay, that's not belonging. I just wanted to share with you. That's she'ela le'alacha. What was? Any other question, Rabotai? Anthony, I hope I answer you. Antonio, I hope that I answer your question. Okay, if I don't hear that means.
Yes, thanks very much. Thanks
Pleasure.
very much. It was very, I understand it. Thanks.
Good. Any other question, Rabotai, regarding the subject that we spoke, if I can answer? Okay, I see that there is no question. I would like to take the opportunity and to wish you Shavua Tov and all the best. And please God, we'll meet again on coming Thursday, Be'ezrat Hashem. We'll do Parashat HaShavua. In the meantime, to wish all of you Shavua Tov and all the best. Enjoy the rest of the week. Shavua Tov, everyone. Bye-bye.
Shavua Tov, Rav. Shavua Tov, Rav.
All the best.
Shavua Tov, Rav. Shavua Tov.
Shavua Tov, bro.
Shavua Tov.
Thank you. Bye-bye.